I'm going out of the country for 2.5 months tomorrow.
My name is Gabrielle Carley, and I'm about to graduate with my bachelor's in music. I got into opera not until college because when I started studying voice with Dr. Dunn, I didn't realize that I could sing classically, and I found it a lot of fun, and it's very interesting. An opera training program is a program that typically lasts a few weeks. It can be during the semester, it can be during the summer, it can be abroad, it can be in the States, but they all focus on different things. One I did last year focused on master classes and coachings and opera scenes, working duets and trios and sextets, versus this one or these two that I did this summer where we actually do operas and you have to prepare a role as well as doing master classes and coachings and whatnot. People do these programs because you can gain experience that they might not otherwise get from their university. They can network and connect with professors from other universities, and they do it to generally get better, work on technique, work on preparing a character, preparing a role, which is really important to learn. What you need to do music-wise before traveling, you need to familiarize yourself with the role beforehand. The last thing you want to do is get there and be the least prepared one. So always strive to have your role either memorized or nearly memorized, but very learned whenever you get there, because you're gonna get straight to work. The expectation is to be on top of everything. Booking tickets can be very daunting. Expedia shows you the whole range of tickets that you can get. I would try to avoid third party though in case something happens. If you're in Europe and you need to travel by train, I usually use Trainline. Trainline is usually good, but I have had issues with refunding tickets or something like that. If you do it through a third party, it's a lot harder to get compensation if something goes wrong. Packing is really hard. As a chronic overpacker, I tend to pack way too much. So packing the essentials, especially for programs like these where they're 5 weeks long each, you can do laundry. Next time I come on one of these, I'm taking a lot less clothes. Google the general weather of the area during the months you're gonna be there. Last year when I was in Salzburg, it was very hot the entire time. This year, it has rained almost every single day. Always bring a raincoat and an umbrella. You can always buy an umbrella there also, but also bring shorts, but also bring a sweater. It's been pretty cold and it's July, which is not what I expected. So this summer I did FAVA, or Franco-American Vocal Academy, and AAMA, which is the Austrian-American Mozart Academy. They're sister programs, so they're run by the same school. One of them is in Angers, France, and one of them is in Salzburg, Austria. Typically we got our schedules a week before, or a few days before that next week, and it would show us everything we had to do. We have music rehearsals, which is just running the music with a conductor and making sure everything is gelling together. We have staging rehearsals, which is staging the actual show, part by part, scene by scene. And then we have our individual coachings for Lieder or French melody or arias and whatnot, because we have other recitals as well as the performances of the shows. We have our voice lessons with our assigned voice teachers. On top of all this, we also have to take language courses of the language spoken in the country. So in France, we had to take French. In Austria, we had to take German. You might have dialogue coachings to make sure your diction is correct. Your workload will vary a lot based on what kind of role you have. If you have a lead role, your workload is going to be a lot more than someone who has one aria. You might end up being in the chorus, which is also a lot of work to learn all of the chorus lines depending on the show. Blocking is going to be very important, and remembering it is going to be even more important. Typically, I will write the lyrics to my song on a note card, and then I'll put the note card on a ring, hole punch it and put it on a ring. If I really need to look at the words and whatnot, because I'm still learning it, I'll carry that around while I'm staging and then write the staging on the back of the note card. So I recommend writing it down every time you have a break, and every time you're practicing your music outside of rehearsal, walk through it. That's going to be the easiest way to get it in your body. You're not required to go to the classes. It is always on your schedule, but it is very helpful in trying to get around in a foreign country, because there is a language barrier. Depending on the city you go to, there might be a big English-speaking population, both in Angers and Salzburg. Most people also speak English. It's very respectful, even if it's not 100% correct. Some people don't like master classes because they can be kind of boring if you're not engaged in them fully, but getting through them, whenever you're performing in them, you just have to remember to remain calm and that it's just another performance. And I cannot die by doing this, because sometimes it feels like it's the end of the world and you're just there to learn, and everyone is there to learn, and the masterclass person there is there to teach. And then getting through them when you're not singing is a whole nother task. I always take notes and I write down things. Usually in master classes, you shouldn't take everything word for word because it might not apply to you, but take notes anyways, because if you go to teach later on and you hear the same problems happening, you might have a way to help that. And because you took notes on it, you can refer to it and take it as the opportunity to practice my coaching skills as well. Like, what would I say to this person? But that's just me. I don't actually tell the people that, because that would be stepping over some boundaries, because I'm not the person giving the master class. But that's just something you can do for yourself. So in each program, you take lessons from professors from many different universities. Some people have a hard time adapting to different teaching styles, especially if they've had the same teacher for so many years. For one thing, you have to keep an open mind about everything they say. In the end, all they're trying to do is help you and help you improve your technique. If you're not understanding what they're saying immediately, or you're just not getting it, ask questions. Like, is there another way to explain that? Other ways to word things. Usually they're pretty good about putting it in a different way or trying a different technique, because every time I do that, it seems to make it make more sense. They're there to help you, is the point. Food can be a big obstacle for a lot of people. Depending on the program you're in, you might get fed for Frost. We got fed breakfast and lunch. In both of these programs, we're on our own to feed ourselves. We have kitchens in our little apartment. We can go get groceries and make food, which is the cheaper of the options to do. My colleagues will eat out, which is sometimes I end up doing. Or I'll go to the convenience store and get something cheap, like a sandwich or something along those lines. But food can be difficult to adapt to, we'll say that. Friends and colleagues, you will meet some of the best people you've ever met. You also might meet some of the worst people you've ever met, but that's okay. The whole point of this is to make and keep the connections that you want to make and keep, and be respectful to your colleagues. Who knows, you might end up working with them at some point. General rule of thumb is to be a good person, though. Usually if you're in a really good group of people, you might go to dinner a lot or go out on the town at night, you know. There's also a chance that you might not want to hang out all the time, and that's okay. You're allowed to keep to yourself. Some days I just end up staying in and practicing or doing homework. Weekends, for these programs specifically, we have most of our weekends off. Sometimes we might have like rehearsals on Saturday, maybe like Saturday mornings or a Saturday lesson at some point. But typically we're done before like 1 p.m. But usually our Saturdays are off. Always our Sundays are off. So we have free time on Sundays. Side quests. We are adults, so we have liberty to go wherever we want, as long as we're respecting other people's times and not skipping rehearsals. That being said, you can plan weekend trips or day trips to the big cities surrounding the area. For example, me and my friend went to Paris for 2 or 3 nights because we had a Monday off. It was really fun. If you're booking last minute, you might miss out on some opportunities though, like tickets for the Louvre, we'll say. We didn't get to go to the Louvre because they were sold out. In Salzburg, I took a weekend trip to Vienna because my friend was in a different program in Vienna, and also I'm going on another day trip to Vienna. It's something that you can do. Note that it is money and it is taxing, so if you have a performance the next week, it's probably not the best idea, but it's all about monitoring yourself. Just take care of yourself and be healthy. Budgeting is really important. I could have definitely done a better job at budgeting, but if you really are strapped for money, there are ways that you can do it. Getting scholarship from the program to do it. Make sure you allot enough money to be able to eat and enough money to buy things that you might need. For example, we had to buy our own linens when we got to Salzburg, allotting money for sheets and a pillow and a blanket. Unless you have the ability to bring those with you, you can always do that, but then you have to worry about overpacking or overweight fees, and also souvenirs that you might want to take back, or excursions that you might want to go on. Like, they have many Sound of Music tours, but there are also free things to do or cheaper things to do. Public transportation, it's about $60 for a bus pass here, and if you get that pass, then you can ride the bus anywhere in the Salzburg area, like going to the lakes, going on many hikes. There are plenty of places to hike around here, and sightsee in general. There are many museums, most of them have admission fees, so just allotting for all the things that you want to do, researching what you want to do and how much each of those are going to be. Now, you've done the summer program. What do you do with this information? Put it on your resume. Update your resume with all the people you've worked with and where you've been. Update your list of songs that you sang, what songs you learned over the summer, what roles you've done. Using the connections you made here to apply for grad schools is really important. That'll be my mission this fall, and seeing if you can tour the school there, have another lesson by either them or another faculty member there. This will increase your chances of getting auditions, of getting into schools, just showing your persistence, basically. And you can mention that you did some language studies in your resume as well. In conclusion, doing a summer program is a lot of fun. It is also a lot of work. So if you're willing to put in the work to have the fun, then I recommend it to anyone who wants to pursue this as a career. Disclaimer, it can get really expensive. My credit cards are taking a hit, but it's okay because you can get money back, you can never get back experiences, is what I like to tell myself, at least, to make me feel better about it. Another disclaimer, a lot of programs end up being 3, 4, 5 weeks long, and I ended up doing 2 5-week programs, being gone for 10 weeks. That's a lot, and after so long, you end up missing your people, and you miss out on some things, but that's okay, because you can't get this time back. And do it while you're young, because why not? Thank you for listening.